People across the country are weighing in on the labor dispute in Wisconsin. A USA Today Gallup poll says that 61% of those polled said they oppose any law that takes away some collective bargaining rights for most public union workers, while 33% say they would be in favor of that kind of law. Joining us now to break down the numbers are former Clinton pollster and former senior advisor to the Lieberman campaign, Mark Penn, and also president of Wilson Research Strategies, Tyler Harber. Thank you both for coming in today.
Thank you.
All right, I thought it was interesting in that same polling, they asked people about things they would and wouldn't favor. 71% oppose raising taxes, 53% opposing reducing pay or benefits for government workers, 48% oppose reducing or eliminating government programs. I mean, is there anything, Mark, that people would agree on? Because they do agree we have to cut, they just can't agree on doing it.
Well, that's the problem with budget cutting, which is that no one really agrees on the things that should be cut. And so budget cuts usually come out as a result of a compromise. Some give and take on each side, and when you don't have give and take, you have breakdown. And I think that's the problem. I saw that when I worked with President Clinton in '96, and the Republicans pushed for breakdown, when in fact, in the end of the day, the compromise balanced the budget.
Well, in another poll I thought was interesting this week from Rasmussen Reports said that 67% of people in that particular poll disapproved of the Democratic lawmakers who have taken off in Wisconsin and are refusing to come back and do their work. Are people just mad at everyone right now?
Yeah, this is kind of a muddy issue. You know, voters believe that they have tightened their belts during the recession and that government should do the same, but they have not a great understanding on how this really works. So you've got 67% who say, hey, we're mad that the Democrats walked out, but at the same time you have only 49% supporting Governor Walker in what he's trying to do. And really, at the end of the day, no one really understands what's going on. So they want to preserve collective bargaining, but they want government employees to pay a larger share of the bill on pension and insurance and other things.
Well, and Mark, a smaller percentage than ever of American workers are unionized. It's still millions of Americans we're talking about, but the numbers are down. I mean, in 1983, when we first started watching this data, it was about 20% of the workforce. I mean, 1 in 5. Now we're talking about 11%. Do you think that the average American is getting tired at all of union demands, or do they still see it as a viable organization you got to have?
Well, I think although the percentage of workers that are in unions has declined, the truth of the matter is you see that in these polls there's a lot of support for collective bargaining, a lot of support for the principles of unions. So people may or may not like a particular union or may or may not feel their employment situation works out for that. Nevertheless, you see probably the edge so far going to the unions in this dispute, illustrating that they're being treated kind of not on an even-handed basis, but trying to be dictated to. And I think that's backfiring. It's backfiring throughout the world.
And Tyler, a lot of people feel like unions, they had some strong origins and they were necessary in a lot of workplaces. Do you think they're still relevant in 2011?
You know, unions have kind of a battered image, if you will, and I think that a lot of Americans see both the good and the bad. You know, the problem for unions now is that there aren't the huge issues, labor-related issues that there were, you know, half a century ago even, and I think that that has diminished their role in some way and has allowed Republicans and some other conservatives to make the unions out to be bad guys. Look, the bottom line is sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're good. You know, the average is kind of what we're trying to seek here, and I agree with Mark. Compromise is really the name of the game, and I think everyone will come to a compromise soon.
All right, really quick answers because I want to get to you both on this question. First of all, Mark, best advice that you would give to the unions in this case from a PR standpoint and how they, turn this around in their favor?
I think that so far this has been in their favor. That best advice is stick to their points, but say that they want to get back to the table. They want to continue to negotiate and have a compromise. That's their best position, and so far I think they've been winning that.
All right, Tyler, very quickly, best advice to the governor?
Sure. Get everyone at the table. You have to start talks. Don't force a vote, because every day that you're trying to force a vote is every day that you're slipping in the polls. So you have to sit down at the table and at least look like you're going to compromise, even if you don't.
All right, both sides give the same advice. We'll see if they take it in Wisconsin. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.